Hello everyone, nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nub Raids. I've recorded about feels like about 10 videos. I think it's actually about 5 videos today or something. I have never been so productive in my life. I guess my brain has just been churning over the weekend and I've just churned out so many ideas. Anyway, in today's video, what I want to talk about is something that has really struck me recently in the game as an aspect of champion design that is massive wasted potential. And that is essentially, I think, the death of the aura as something interesting in Raid Shadow Legends. I've very much noticed it with a lot of the recent champions coming out. You have a lot of just the 30% or so, whatever, main stat aura. So, for example, Sanguine Maria, 33% attack in all battles. We have like, Gaspard came out, 33% defense in all battles. Okay, cool. What about like some other relatively new champions? Like Venalicia came out, accuracy in all battles. Okay. Like I was even looking at Sylvan Watchers, a couple of recent voids. Oh, what about Arathia? 30% attack in all battles. Okay. 35% defense in all battles. So many of the auras these days are just that. They are very boring. They're just the same sort of thing. What are we missing? We're missing a few different things. I think number one, which is actually, I'll cover the biggest problem first. The biggest problem is a lack of more specific auras. So we actually have some dungeon auras. Used to be a thing in the game. They're pretty rare now. Very few champions with dungeon auras. There are some, like I think Elatron Blade Master, 30% speed in dungeons. That's cool. That's one of the more recent ones. Very rare. But they used to do dungeon auras. They do exist. Dungeon auras is a thing. Faction war auras, those do exist as well, but they're very rare. Arena auras are a big impact. Those are actually important, though mostly just speed. There's no auras for Clanbot, nothing for Hydra, nothing for Chimera, and so on. We've got Doom Tower auras. Again, they've been sort of abandoned, very much so. But yeah, we're just missing a lot of stuff. I think there's huge potential to expand these auras. So go back to doing a few more dungeon auras, particularly for champions who are sort of designed for a particular boss. That could be pretty cool. Faction war auras, I think especially with faction wars hard, more powerful faction war auras would be cool. We'll come to faction unity in a second. I know that sort of covers it. Arena is fine. Why are there? It seems so strange to me that there's no Hydra or Chimera auras. Like, so for example, I think we looked at Gaspard. Gaspard comes in. He's got a bunch of stuff against like consumed in Hydra stuff here. Him not having like, give the dude like a 50% defense in Hydra battles aura or something to make champions stand apart a little bit more, add a bit of interest to building those clan boss teams. There's room for Hydra auras, Chimera auras as well. Those would be very helpful and they don't exist. So for example, Klazag, really new champion, really Chimera specialist. Well, I mean, very much really good for any boss, but very good for Chimera. 33% defense in all battles. Like, what I mean, guys, is they're just so boring. It's so boring. It's so boring. And yeah, we never got any auras for Cursed City. Those would have been great. We've never got any auras for Siege, which seems like a huge missed opportunity. Again, that would be really interesting. And in basically all these modes, you're just using your all battle auras. And half the time, it's just all battle speed auras, and the rest are half forgotten. Yeah, I think adding these in, even retroactively to certain champions, could be really cool. Like Cursed City, switch a bunch of epics who are never used for their aura, give them Cursed City auras instead. So you go, I don't know, D20. Oh, look, that was random. Look at this. Doom Tower aura, speed in arena is cool. You know, screw it. Give us some like, we have some of these old affinity ones. They've really abandoned those as well. But, you know, give us something cool that makes it actually impactful for Cursed City. So you're like, yes, well, this Cursed City stage, this epic or this legendary actually will really help extra much. So yeah, that's a big thing we're missing. Number one is that since Doom Tower, they've effectively abandoned any auras that are dealing with any areas of the game at all. Nothing for Hydra, Chimera, Cursed City, or Siege. Totally abandoned. I think it's a huge missed opportunity. And then they've really abandoned, very much so, it feels like dungeon and faction war auras as well. I will say one thing they have done, obviously, which is good. Faction unity auras are pretty cool. So you get a generic boost, and then you get a special boost for your faction. That is cool, and those auras are good, and they are unique, and I love that. So we have a thumbs up for the faction unity. That's been pretty fun. They could even expand those a little bit, maybe keep them special. But I mean, we've got, let's say, Leonardo. He's the specialist faction unity. Defense in all battles, 33%. Holy shit, what? I need to pause the video. The excitement is killing me. I can't deal with this aura right now. This would have been a lot more fun if it was like some sort of boost for the turtles. Potentially expand. I don't necessarily mind if they want to keep the faction unity as sort of special just for faction unity, but these sort of pseudo faction unity champs like Leo would have been a bit fun to give him a special one, but hey, it is what it is. But those have been good, so that's cool. What else are we missing? So yeah, I think having some more impactful ones. One that they did recently-ish, and still very much meta, still has a big impact. I do think they did a good job with Odin. Void ally speed in arena, 40%, right? Speed auras in arena, the most important thing. Now his is affinity and area limited, but it's so insanely powerful. And that, again, it feels impactful. It's something to play around. I will say, I don't want every aura to be super special, because if every aura is super special, none of them are. Back in the day, a 33% defense in all battles aura would have been considered pretty special, pretty exciting. Nowadays, it feels like if a champion doesn't have it, something's gone wrong. It makes it just not exciting again. I think your Carl has a pretty fun one. No, never mind. Maybe he used to have. I feel like there's champions that used to have interesting auras that got removed even. Like, I think Riho still has an interesting one, 42% attack and faction crypts. That's pretty cool. Give us some more stuff like this. Some more stuff that is interesting, that sets it apart, to give champions some more sort of special areas to play in. That would be really, really cool. And add the rest of the stuff in. Guys, let me know. What do you think about this? That's basically where I'm at. But it's just something that has really struck me. I do think with the mythicals, it's pretty appropriate that they have, like, pretty generic, just like 25% speed in all battles, 35% HP or defense. That feels pretty fair for mythicals, 80 accuracy. They're pretty standard. I think for a mythical, that's pretty fair to make them just, for the most part, generalists. I don't object to that. But I certainly think with the legendaries, there's room to do a lot more interesting stuff. Lydia had such an interesting one, 100 resistance in arena. Obviously, it's almost useless these days because mythicals ignore resistance and all the rest. But, you know, it was interesting, man. It was fun. It was a little spicy. Set it apart. Oh, God. Oh, no. God, it's another 33% defense in all battles. Even Trunda is kind of interesting. 36% magic attack. No, I'm not a fan of Trunda, but you know what? I like the aura. At least there's something happening there to set it apart. So yeah, that's what I would like to see. 60 accuracy, 30% for him. I'm looking at some of the more recent champions that they've put out. And yeah, I mean, they're all slight, tiny variations on the same thing. And it doesn't really matter. Like, what is really the difference between 28% defense in all battles and 30% or 33% or 35%? Obviously, it's slightly better. But do you really care? Is it exciting? Do you, like, are you going like, oh, sweet, I can swap out my 28% for a 30% defense in all battles aura. This is amazing. What an upgrade. It's just not exciting, even slightly. So yeah, that's my rant. That's what I think about it. But yeah, give me your thoughts. What would you like to see with auras? Number one, would you like to see more niche auras coming in? Like bringing back some of the Dungeon or Faction Wars ones? Would you like to see auras for more specific areas? So would you like to see Demon Lord, Hydra, Chimera, Curse City, Siege auras? Is that something that you would want to see as well? For me, it's a definite yes. Do you want to see more variance in the power of the auras and having niche ones that are really powerful? More stuff like Odin. For me, again, it's a yes, I would. And I think it would just make the game more interesting. So there you go. That is my rant. But yeah, like I said, it's something that struck me recently with the game. I've been, especially with a lot of the new champions, you're looking at them and you're like, oh, it's the same aura again. Yeah, there you go. That's my thoughts. What do you think? Thank you for watching. Will anything change? I don't know. We'll see. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.